There is quite an excitement around our home this week as we prepare our home and our suitcases for travel. We'll be leaving for vacation for about a week, and so we're spending this week just doing all the things that we need to do to prep our home and ourselves for this big travel trip. This is going to be the only big vacation that we're taking this summer, and so we are trying to make the most out of it and just have the best time ever. But before that happens, there's a lot of packing, planning, and prepping to do. Packing for a summer trip is always so much easier than packing for a fall or winter one, just because the clothing is so much lighter and you can fit so much more than you can with heavier, more winter-like clothing. So I really enjoy packing for a summer trip like this. We don't do clothes shopping too frequently because we do try to be very frugal wherever we can. But for a trip like this, I did go and I bought each family member something new that they can enjoy on their vacation. But this dress here is actually a dress that my sisters got for me while they were on a sister's trip in Greece about 5 years ago, and I actually haven't even had a chance to wear it yet, so I'm really excited to take that dress with me. So because this week is packed with planning, prepping, cleaning, just doing things around the home, getting ready for our leave, I am keeping every meal very simple, very quick. So for lunch, I just had some sourdough bread, a raw loaf that was sitting in the fridge. I baked it, and we are just having some turkey sandwiches for lunch, and that's kind of been the rhythm of this entire week. Just simple, quick, easy. And instead of stocking up my fridge like I normally do on my weekly homemaking routines, I am actually taking this week to clean out my fridge and make sure that we're eating all the fresh produce and just anything that might go bad before we come back home. I'm just trying to make sure that we don't waste anything, giving all the scraps to the chickens and anything that should be eaten by us. I'm just trying to use that up anywhere I can in this week's meals. So as I said, I am doing simple, quick meals this week. And so for today's dinner, I am simply taking out some meatballs that I had prepped and frozen in the freezer. They were actually made by my mom when she visited me, and it was just so nice to have those. I pulled those out because one of the most time-consuming things to prepare on a night of dinner is the meat. So I clearly don't have time this week to prepare any type of meat, so I just pulled those meatballs out and I'm just defrosting them and cooking them on a frying pan, and I am making a side of fresh pasta, but that is just really quick and easy to make. I actually saw this pasta idea and recipe online this week, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I have to make that. And I wish you can smell the smells of when I added those tomatoes and that garlic into my frying pan. The whole house just smelled amazing. So you guys gotta try this recipe out. And it was a great chance for me to use some fresh garden herbs. I went and picked some sage, some parsley, some oregano. And originally this recipe calls for basil, but I didn't have any. I'm actually not growing basil this year. But surprisingly, the mixture of those herbs that I listed actually created a very, very similar smell and taste to basil. So I believe that my pasta recipe turned out just perfect, even though I did not have basil available on hand. Is just a perfect summer meal. All the smells and flavors of this pasta and using up those garden fresh herbs, those garden fresh tomatoes. It's just so perfect, and it literally tastes like summer. We really enjoyed this recipe. Another little thing that I do just to make our coming home so much easier and more welcoming is I change out the bed sheets before we leave, so everyone in the family comes home to fresh, clean bed sheets after a long trip away. So I just real quick wanted to share some of my favorite products from Costco. This is my absolute favorite for mayo. My kids don't like any other oil in their mayo but this one. Then I love this for our morning oatmeal. Then I'm a big fan of the King Arthur flours. Someday I want to mill my own wheat, but not at this point. So that's what I like to use right now. And this is a must in our family. Then I love the honey from Costco, can't live without that, and the organic maple syrup. I've tried other maple syrups from other stores, also organic. I don't know, nothing beats this flavor. So these are some of my favorite products that I'm taking with me to the Airbnb. Cannot do without my cast iron pans. These are both 12-inch. I'll be using them to make some Dutch baby pancakes for breakfast. One of the quickest, easiest, most simple breakfasts. So I just pour the whole batter in 2 of these because there's 2 families staying at the Airbnb. And there you go, 2 families are fed. And it can be baked at the same time. And of course, taking my bread baskets, I do plan to make some sourdough bread while we're over there. Also, we'll be grabbing several jars of homemade granola for cereal and yogurt. Another absolute Costco favorite, if you can't make your own butter, I would say this is the next best choice, and my family loves this butter. Also, another kitchen essential, I'm taking my immersion blender so that I can make the homemade mayo. Up next on my to-do list before leaving for our vacation is to clean out our refrigerator. I don't know how we collected so many chicken scraps. We're usually pretty good about giving those to the chickens on a daily basis, but this week has been so busy, so we've accumulated like 2 or 3 large bowls of chicken scraps that desperately need to be taken out to the chicken coop. But my whole goal with cleaning out the refrigerator is, like I mentioned earlier, remove any fresh produce or meats that can go bad while we're gone. I don't want anything to go to waste, so we're trying to eat all of that up, give whatever is already going bad to the chickens, any leftover scraps, things like that. And my goal is to just have a clean and fresh refrigerator with only things that will not go bad within the next 2 weeks. We also had a couple of egg cartons where somebody would grab eggs out of this one, another person would grab eggs out of that one. So I just combined them so that we just have one full egg carton for when we come back. And the shelves are looking pretty nice and clean. Also got to make sure to clean out the butter box before we leave. So we decided that we will be doing most of our breakfasts in at the Airbnb. So I am bringing plenty of eggs with me, all of the eggs that have not yet been refrigerated. And you will notice that they're a little bit messy looking, but I do that purposely. I do not wash them so that it keeps the protective bloom on, but I do usually wash them right before I actually use them. It's just best not to wash them until use so that they last longer. So in our family, we don't normally go out for fast food or any type of restaurants. Normally on a daily basis, we eat everything from scratch from home. And so this trip is going to be really special because we did make that decision that every evening for dinner, we would be going out. So the kids are going to be extra excited about this one, and we're going to have a ton of fun, and we're really looking forward to sharing our trip with all of you. We're excited to see you here again next week, and please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this channel with others. Thank you so much for watching this video.